what better way to end the year than with one of the cuntiest moths in existence? Yes, the Spanish moon moth, my final Lepidoptera of the year. But don't pat me on the back too much or too quickly, because this was even my idea. This moth is actually a commission from my dear friend Sophie. She ordered one of my bugs as a Christmas present. Wow. Everybody sent chocolates and health insurance her way for that. Yay! Round of applause. Thank you, Sophie. Woo! For the moth, I did what I always do, which is make a template, cut the sucker out so I can use it as a cutting and tracing guide for the clay. But what you astute watchers may have caught on to is that I am making this one thicker than usual. And yes, I'm doing that on purpose because Sophie has given me the task of making it hangable. So I'm making sure the entire form can lay flat for that. I wanted there to be an illusion of the wings overlapping while still making it lay flat. So what I'm doing here is laying the forewings on top of the hind wing, cutting the overlap away so that the two pieces can still lay flush. And then I cut the tail ends off, flip them around so that there's the illusion of the tails being twisted. Lots of illusions I'm trying to pull off here, like my Gen Z generation holding on to the illusion of living long, fruitful lives in houses we own and third places we can frequent, and Bjork's still playing on the radio or whatever. Who cares, whatever. Up next is, damn, that shit is so depressing. Anyways, up next is a fluffy middle part, which is going to also lay flat, but much thicker to allow for the teeny tiny screw that I'll be drilling into it. And to make room for the middle part, I do the same thing as I did with the wings, which is make the shape, place it on top, cut out the overlap, voila. Now don't blame me for this part. Blame my mother, and then blame me, because as you know, I do this in my mommy's office. I have my work desk pushed up against hers, and the bugs surround her against her will on all of the flat surfaces. But in addition to freeloading in her office, I also freeload all of her stuff, including her printer, where she reduces, reuses, and recycles the paper that my younger brother uses for his schoolwork. Hence, the unsightly lead pencil transfers on this piece, and on a lot of my other pieces. But what I should start doing is incorporating the vein lines into my templates, so that I don't have to lose my marbles trying to freehand it, but that's a discussion for another day. So I texturize the wings, and I texturize the fluffy fur, of course, and then I use my cosmetic scissors to snip some tufts of fur for some added depth. But before you ask, no, I do not have two separate cosmetic scissors. Yes, I use the same ones on my face as I do with the clay, and no, I will not be answering any follow-up questions on this topic. And now for the antenna. Are you guys sick of me making Lepidoptera, actually? I'm simply being a slave to the algorithm right now, but starting in January, I'll be making something cool. I'll most likely make a beetle for you guys, because I haven't made a beetle in so long, and I miss making beetles. I only just recently learned how to not make the antenna gross. And now all of my antennae look really nice, and it makes me want to have another epiphany, but for beetles. And I think I actually will, because I have something in mind on how to make sexy legs, and I can never figure out how to make sexy beetle legs. But now I've got it, and it'll happen in 2026, so you have to stick around for that. And also, I'm going to host a poll on TikTok for which beetle to make, so maybe go vote for that, please. Thank you, if you're not a loser or whatever. Wow, I'm moving kind of fast on this. It's almost as if I've done nothing but make moths for months. Anyways, I'm drilling the hole, also just to make sure that it's there, but my guardian angel whispered in my ear not to let it wait too long or let this bake too many times for adding the hole for the screw. So what I'm doing here is adding extra protection for the back piece, because I started to get paranoid that all the individual pieces would somehow break apart. So I filled in the seams with some clay, pressed it down to make it, who would have guessed, to make it as flat as possible. I also ripped off the bottom twirly parts because I was convinced for some reason that it would look better if I made it twist in real life somehow. But I don't know if it's because of my dumbass art major brain, but I could not figure out the science to make this look so, I don't know, not stupid, right? It looks stupid. Whatever. So I was like, let me move on before I pop a vein in my temple. No better time than the present for me to do the face. I said it before, but I don't mind reiterating. I don't make the head on the first pass of baking so that I can actually attach the hardened antenna to the soft clay head. And also, the head doesn't have much detail anyway, so it's not like I'm prolonging anything by doing this. So once I attach the antenna to the head, I've texturized the head so that's nice and fluffy like the rest of the body. And to ensure I don't accidentally texture the eyes with my texturizer tool, I use the sharp ends of my tweezers to get into the nooks and crannies of the face. Or if you're not a silly little bozo like myself, you could just, I don't know, maybe texturize the entire face before adding the eyes, because that works too. Ooh. I toyed around with the idea of making a stand that the moth could hang from, but the wire wasn't strong enough. I don't know, I already knew that it would be more trouble than it was worth, so I scrapped that. Also off camera, I reattached the bottom twirlers with resin, which I also used to fill in the gaps, and I know y'all seen that color matchup. Right. Yeah, right. Anyways, where are my mint chocolate chip ice cream lovers at? I do love this color, and I'm sure you all are always very happy to see me cover up the pencil marks, I know. But usually I love this lime green color specifically. I sound like I won the lottery in every video that I get to use it. It's literally right up there with metallic blue paint for me. But I kind of hated it here. I don't know why, but I did at some point in the video end up going over it with yellow off camera, just so you know, for continuity purposes. I don't know. But yes. Yay! Yippee, we are indeed painting now. And this was one of the most fun yet most nerve-wracking paint jobs, so I'll get to why in a second. But honestly, one of my New Year's resolutions for this channel is to make bugs with more difficult forms and paint jobs, so hopefully we'll have a lot more nerve-wracking paint jobs in 2026. If you have any idea for bugs with crazy unique forms or really convoluted paint jobs, drop those suggestions in the comments, please and thank you. Or hit me with a lot of suggestions on TikTok. Everyone suggests random bullshit for me to do all the time, and I really like it. Thank you. I appreciate that for my TikTok people. I fuck with you guys so heavy. Anyways, the Spanish moon moth is one of the few moths that have been a protected species for since basically the dawn of time, since the dinosaurs roamed the earth or whatever. And I can for sure see why, because the pretty privilege on this moth is crazy. It's actually absurd. Even its fluffy body has a pattern, and I don't usually see that, or at least the pattern is very simple. Not that this one is crazy complicated, but I don't know. I really liked it. It really tickled my fancy. Okay, so I've been avoiding drawing on the veins. I know. I was scared shitless and fighting for my life avoiding doing this part, hence why I painted the underside and the fluffy middle part when I usually save those for last. And I know now what you're thinking is, Sydney, you literally carved the veins to the wings when it's still in its soft clay form. We literally watch you do that, so all the theatrics you're having right now are so unnecessary. To which I would say, okay, I know who got coal in their stocking this year, okay, but also it didn't go all the way through. I didn't make the indents deep enough. So once I went over the whole thing with green paint, ooh, I had no clue where to trace, and I was so scared. So I put it off for a whole business day. I even glazed the underside because that's how avoidant I was being. I was avoiding drawing those lines on like a woman avoids going on a date with the weird guy at work who stares at her in every meeting and smells like Olive Garden croutons. But I'm a grown woman and it's Christmas and Sophie paid me with real life money. So after multiple stressful attempts, I popped a metaphorical Zan, I drew them on, and I hoped for the best. And from there, smooth sailing, depending on who you ask. As long as whatever issues I run into are fixable, I'll always see a smooth sailing personally. Because what had happened here on this particular part of the wing is that I painted on one line of the bottom wing, which is correct. But on the top wing, there are two lines that are meant to diverge on a yellow wood, not one. And this line would have started too far at the top for my liking, so I wiped it off with a wet paper towel, repainted all the background colors, then painted the line further down the way it was supposed to look. And to the average passerby, you never would have known. So never let mistakes hold you down, people, because every defeat is psychological, not factual, inviting change, not demise, and I will be a baller till the day I fucking die. So, oh, and while I'm here doing the paint job, let me run you guys some facts, okay? So first, the Spanish moon moth is actually Spanish, first discovered in Spain and everything, and therefore the Spanish moon moth is also known as
Mariposa de la Luna Española. Apuesto a que no sabían que hablo español. Después de todos estos años en YouTube, todavía no se han dado cuenta que talentosa y polifacética que soy. Vamos, qué ingenuos son. La mariposa de la luna española también se encuentra en Francia, pero no soy malo como los franceses. Aparte de saber oui oui baguette y omelette du fromage. En fin, no quiero que se pongan demasiado celosos de mi bilingüismo y mi gran fluidez, así que...
I'll switch back to English for you. That was me. I thought I did something here by sneaking in this gradient, but I actually hated it. Ended up going over it with brighter, redder paint, so we all make mistakes. For the face, I went back in with some yellow and added some brown gradient, of course. Painted the eyes with the same dark brown that I originally used for the lines on the wings, and before all of my foolishness earlier, I made the executive decision to paint the antenna this lovely reddish copper gold color for some added pop. And what I'm highlighting here is that I made 2 colors for the bones of the wings on the top there. I started off with this cute mauve purple and then went crazy with some red on top of it. This is actually what inspired me to go over the whole thing with a brighter red. It still looks like day 4 period blood here, but that's because of the lighting, and you'll see it pop for real in the photos later, of course. Ooh, we're almost done. Wow, 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 wow. My last video of the year, and I still haven't decided what to start off next year with. Tell me in the comments what you are hoping to achieve next year and what you want to see me do in January, maybe. I don't know. But I can tell you from now, I already believe in you, and I know you got this in the bag. But I digress. I digress. Mother Nature is truly the ultimate artist, and you can tell with the design of these eyelids because they truly bring the whole look together. Eye spots on a moth are like boots with the fur. It just elevates the entire outfit for real. And the very last thing, last thing I'm going to do is take some metallic, the same metallic that I use for the antenna, and go over the edges of it for a nice sexy little pop. And this is the real reason I glaze the bottom too, so I can just wipe off the edges for a clean, seamless look. Just make sure to wipe it right away so it doesn't dry in places like mine did. And with that, it's 2026! Ah! Rah! Wow, thank you so much to my new subscribers who found me in 2025, but also the old heads who have been here from the very beginning. I feel so blessed in every way to see my channel grow bit by bit as time moves forward, and I can only imagine how far we'll go in 2026, and I hope to see you there achieving your dreams as well. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one next year. Bye!